I'm Daniel, DM, joined by Davey.
I muted myself. Sorry, I'm playing Shade.
We got Tim.
Theo.
We got Adam.
Falbin.
And Craig/Gray.
And I'm playing Magus, and I'm totally not nervous about dying.
Big recap, just watch the Odyssey Abridged episode that's out. I spent a lot of time on it. This week's should be a little better sound quality wise. It won't have the music chopping in and out with everybody's voices, but go watch that. It's a quick rundown of everything going on, and there's a lot of excellent roleplay that's not me talking, and I love that. The temple priest named Proteus told you guys that he had some healing potions in his chamber and that you guys could have them. Everybody except Magus went down the hall to where the living quarters were, and as Falbin was picking the lock, the swords hanging on the rack at the end of the hall began to animate and began to spring forward to attack. I have rolled initiative for the swords. I just need Theo, Falbin, and Shade to roll initiative.
Oh no, I'm not even there.
Yes!
Nice initiative. Falbin with 23. Falbin, you have your thieves' tools out. You are currently picking this lock. You rolled a 13 on your sleight of hand check. You're going to pick the lock. It's just going to take a little time. Your decision is use your action to finish picking the lock on this turn or turn and fight. What do you do?
I see the swords come around the corner, and Falbin's going to act. He's the alert guy. He sees that it's happening, and he feels like he's going to protect Theo. So I'm going to attack. I'm going to run forward, and I'm going to try to grapple sword number 1 and use it to smack sword number 2.
Okay, I will have you roll a strength check, and it's going to roll a acrobatics check. You rolled a 12. It rolled a 7. You grab onto, I'm hoping, the hilt of this sword.
Oh, that's the plan.
I got
that's
it.
the plan.
Oh!
But you do have a hold on the blade. You definitely planned to do this, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. Oh, no!
So you grab onto this sword, and you're just swinging wildly. It is fighting you.
So I'm assuming, like, I'm still holding this sword.
You are.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to hide.
Okay, you're definitely not going to hide from the sword you're holding.
Of course.
Just so we're clear. Go ahead and roll stealth, and we'll see if the other 3 know exactly where you are.
No!
And that's a nat 1 high check. You rush in the door with this flailing sword struggling at your hands. Up next, it is all the flying swords. It's going to go over Theo towards Shade. It rolled a 19 to hit.
That will hit.
10 slashing damage. The next one is going to come over here, and Theo, you like bring up your musket and block it with the barrel. Falbin, it's going to come right here and attack you through the door. That's a 20 to hit for 6 slashing.
Ouch.
And the last flying sword that you are holding is going to attack you as well.
What, is it rolling a disadvantage? I mean, I'm still grappling it, right?
Actually, because you're grappling itself, which is its weapon, I like your logic. I'm going to have it roll a disadvantage. And that saves you.
Yes.
The first roll was an 18. It gets a 6. Theo, you're up. You have a sword behind you and a sword in front of you. What do you do?
Shade's looking pretty ill.
Merely a flesh wound.
There had better actually be healing potions in this room.
I am going to use my bonus action to cast Hunter's Mark on this one here. I'm going to then go on the offense because that's the best defense. I'm going to shoot that sword that I'm focused on.
That's a crit. Yeah. Dude. Okay. This does so much damage. That's 28 piercing damage. Okay, so at full health, you outright just shatter the sword that you're aiming at. And because this is a crit and it's piercing damage, I'm going to say some of that's going to bleed through to the back one. 28 damage to the front one. He has 17 HP. He's dead. And then 11 damage to the one behind it. So, Magus, with that...
Yeah, I imagine I would
shot,
hear that.
you and everybody in the temple hears that gun go off. Would you run to help?
Yes, I would.
Okay, so we are on to Shade. You've been pretty badly hurt by this sword.
Yeah, I'm try and cut it back. All right, I am going to use my glaive on it.
I love D&D. Ooh, 23 to hit for 12 slashing damage. You do 12 damage to it. You cut a deep gouge in the blade. It is still flying, but it's badly hurt. Next up, top of the order, Falbin. You are still grappling with this sword. It is struggling to hold itself upright.
Yeah, so I'm gonna take my rebound dagger. I'm just gonna like stab and slash it and scrape it. It's gonna be great.
Honestly, thought this was going to work out worse for you. How do you kill this sword that you're grappling?
I'm a little confused about how these magical, fake, real swords work, but I'm gonna take my rebound dagger. I'm just gonna kind of stab it in the middle above the hilt and just scrape all the way out along the center of the blade.
The remaining water sloughs off of it onto the floor with a splashes on the ground, and the sword goes limp. And now you have a damaged longsword.
Loot the bodies!
Okay, Magus.
I turn wide-eyed to Kyra, and I just think, find the Oracle, see what's going on.
This one is pretty damaged, but Shaded is going to try and get you again. That is a 15 to hit. I believe your AC is 17, correct?
It is 17.
Yeah, you block it with your glaive. You guys are just sending sparks. The next one is going to attack Theo. It's an 18 to hit, which I do believe meets your AC. And it's going to do 6 slashing damage to you. Theo.
I'm going to strike him with my musket.
Yeah, you're struggling. It's kind of clashing with your barrel as you're trying to aim it, and it knocks it a little out of the way and ricochets off the wall. Back up to Falbin.
All right, I'm gonna come out of my super stealth in this room.
Okay, you did successfully hide, so this first attack will be at advantage.
Coming in, and I'm gonna rebound the hell out of this.
And that's a crit.
Yes.
Yeah, dude.
And it's a sneak attack, is it not?
And it's a sneak attack. Yeah, so that's 10 base damage and then an additional 6 for sneak attack, making it 16. How do you one-shot assassinate this flying sword?
I'm just coming out of the shadows. I start at the hilt. I'm whittling it.
You whittle it down into a smaller sword, and it is dead. Amazing.
I'm gonna take a moment, and I'm gonna go ahead and pick up that first longsword that I grapple. I'm gonna throw that in inventory. It's important to me now.
All right, Magus.
Okay, I'm finally making it into the hallway. Can I do something crazy then?
I want to hear it.
All right, because we have established that Theo at least is short, and that also there is apparently a high enough ceiling to use hover on these swords.
Uh-huh.
As I'm kind of running the corner, I want to try and run up the wall a little bit. I am proficient in acrobatics. I'm gonna do this.
I would love you to roll an acrobatics check. Ooh, and that's a 22. Do you want to also do an attack?
So I'm doing a spell attack with Firebolt. Oh, come on!
Oh, man.
Quick,
Oh, no.
use inspiration dice. You don't know what happened yet. Do things.
There it is.
That's better.
Tell me how you do this.
I come across the corner, and I add an extra burst of speed, start running up the wall, do like a mid-flip, and as I'm horizontal in the air, I extend my arm, and from the tip of my finger, just a burst of fire shoots toward what I now have visibility on.
Incredible. So you pull a whole like Trinity from the
Yep.
Matrix wall run. Your firebolt flies across Falbin, and then the sword just clatters on the tile floor.
Yeah, where'd the swords come from?
I don't know. Like, everyone is telling me that I can trust Proteus. I don't know. Do you have the potions yet? Are there potions? What's going on?
Yeah, about that. I better get back to the door here. It was locked. Click.
Yeah, and as you move inside, underneath the lit torch, there is a chest.
Guys, there's only bottles of poison. they don't know. There's 6 potions, I think.
You guys look like you fought for this the most. Like, you all should get them before I do. If you have extra, use them now, because something's going on. I do not like how this is going. I'm gonna head back out of the room and just start going back.
You guys also notice hanging by the door, there is what looks like a large key.
Oh, I definitely
that.
take that. Should we check these other doors, guys?
Well, yeah.
I think this door's locked. Does anyone have a key?
Ooh, I have a key.
You put the key in and it fits and opens the door. There are a set of steps that go down about 20 feet to the left. The stairs turn and there is another strong oak door.
Either myself or Falbin should go first.
I agree.
So there's just a strong oak door.
Yeah, it's got Sidon's face carved into it.
Is there a keyhole?
There is a ring handle.
Well, I'm gonna try it.
As you grab the ring handle, you can feel
Great.
an adhesive effect. Your hand is stuck. You can see the face of Sidon turn to look at you, and then its mouth opens wide, bearing rows of razor-sharp teeth, and it goes to attack you.
We're fighting a door?
This is a mimic door.
Oh no.
Okay, you guys are in a nice little conga line here, with the door at the bottom, Falbin's hand stuck to it, and its mouth reaching out to bite him. Falbin, you are grappled by this mimic door.
Once again, holding on to something dangerous.
Is this going to become a habit?
Yeah, it might be. This adhesive, is there a check I can make to try to free myself?
Yeah, you can try to escape the grapple by using either an acrobatics check or a athletics check. I'll tell you the DC is 13. That's a 23. It stings your palm, like it takes a little skin with it, but you're able to pull your hand off.
Can I use my bonus action to lean forward and attack with my snake hair?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just pissed. So this is like a gut reaction. And so I'm leaning forward, and my hair comes alive, and I'm attacking.
Yes, 17. Yeah, that absolutely hits. Your teeth sink in, doing 8 piercing damage, and your snakes are stuck.
Oh no! Oh no!
Well, that's fun. So, in addition, I think it needs to roll a Constitution save or be poisoned.
It rolled an 8. It's poisoned.
Disadvantage on all attack rolls and ability checks.
Wow. Okay.
Ooh, nice hair.
Yeah, I think I'm shafted.
Oh, that's wild. Megas.
Oh, it's a stationary foe. I'm going to create a bonfire under it.
Okay. There is suddenly a roaring bonfire at the foot of this door. It has to do a dex save.
Yeah, it has to do a DC 15 dex save or take 1 fire damage.
It passes. It rolls a 17. Shade, you see Falbin lash forward with his snake hair and then stop, and he's like struggling, and the snakes pull taut. What do you do?
All right, well, not knowing what else to do, I would like to grab Falbin and rip him off the mimic.
Oh boy. Okay. Yeah, so I'll just give you a strength check, DC. We'll say it's like a 15 to yank him free. I will say it's going to damage him a little bit.
Yeah, Shade would just be like, sorry about this, Falbin.
You just beat it with a 16. Falbin, you are yanked free. That's 6 slashing damage. I'm so sorry.
Ouch!
Also with that, I'm trying to use my movement to swap places with him.
Yeah, we'll say it's almost all of your movement. But yeah, you're staring face to face with this horrific distortion of the form of Sidon in a door. It's going to bite you.
Hey,
He rolls a 19.
that'll hit.
Is that a disadvantage?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Let's try a disadvantage. That's a 10.
Yes.
Woo!
Yeah, thanks to the poison coursing through this mimic's veins, hinges, I don't know, it does not connect. That was clutch doing that
Yeah.
poison. Okay.
No kidding.
Theo,
So I'm gonna do my usual 1-2. I'm gonna snipe this guy.
21 to hit, 10 piercing plus an additional 3 hunter's mark. Okay, Rue.
I'm gonna try to use this piercing screech.
Stimphe emits an ear-splitting cry directed at one creature. The target must succeed on a DC 10 Constitution saving throw, or it takes 1d6 psychic and is deafened.
I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, so he needs to make a con save. It fails, even though it's only a DC 10, thanks to the poison.
Woo!
A deaf door.
A deaf poison
Get deaf.
door. What other status effect can we throw on the door?
This is wild. I feel like every game I ever play in, there's never any status effects happening, and you guys are just using it constantly. I love it.
We're gonna
When you see
paralyze the
everything-
door.
We're just in such a panic mode. We're like, throw everything at it.
This is not going at all the way I expected, and I love it. Okay, back to Falbin. You've been yanked free from the door, but Shade has placed you behind him. What do you do?
I'm gonna give it a rebound dagger right in the face.
That hits for 9 damage.
I sneak attack because there's somebody within 5 feet. Take it! Take it!
Oh, and it's a 6.
Nice.
15 damage. Come on. Yeah, so you throw it over Shade's shoulder. It embeds in like one of Sidon's eyes
Oh,
in the
yeah.
door.
Oh, yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah, I'm pissed. So I'm gonna be throwing another dagger here.
And it's a 22 to
Wow.
hit. He is on death's door.
Ah!
Oh boy. I had to do it. Okay, Magus, you can see it starting to shudder from its polymorphed form.
I think it would be a little bit gamey to dismiss Bonfire and then just create it again, because then I could just stop concentrating and do it again for immediate damage.
You know, nothing in the rulebook says dogs can't play basketball, so...
All right, so that's what I do. It's like I dismiss the current Bonfire and then just bring it back.
Okay, so he has to roll the dex save at disadvantage. That's a fail.
So he takes another 4 fire damage.
Okay, Shade.
All right, I'm gonna go to the glaive, trusty glaive.
When in doubt, glaive it out.
This is exactly right.
Oh,
Use my inspiration to re-roll that.
try again.
There
There
it
it
is. How do you finish off this mimic door with a face of Sidon on it?
Seeing it searing and shuddering, Shade is gonna wind up with a big overhand swing and just cut it in half.
Oh!
In the middle. Just, whoa.
It's just this like... As you just cleave right through it, Sidon's face bisected, it falls to either side of the room and then turns into goo on the floor. Holy shit, that was awesome.
I really thought you were going to say he was on Death's Door.
Death's Door! The rare double pun! Ah. You know, I'm just going to edit it so that I do say that. Very good. I picked the right people to play this.
For that combat though, I gotta say MVP Falbin with the poison
Yes!
That was
Yes.
sick. Even though you got your hair ripped off by Shade.
Yeah, the snakes are still a little upset about that.
Anyway, Shade, you have a slight recollection of this stairway, and you don't remember a door being here.
I don't think they're supposed to be here, guys.
What do you mean? Have you been here before?
I don't know.
Shall we carry on then? There is a oracle that needs saving.
I'm just gonna go ahead and do it now. I'm invoking the charm of heroism.
From sacrificing the boar, yeah. You go ahead and use that, and you feel just a twinge of that same protection and sense of safety that you felt when Mitros shone down on you.
Falvin would definitely lean over to Shade and be like, by the way, that hurt like hell, but I think you saved my life.
Yeah, it didn't look so good, but sorry about the hair.
The hair kind of just nods and I pull my hood back up.
Okay, you start heading down the stairs to the grotto of the Oracle.
In the grotto.
In the grotto. So, you reach the bottom of the steps. Liquid blue light shimmers and refracts along the slick walls, and it's filled with the vaporous mist of steaming hot springs. At the center of this underground river, there is a raised rocky area, and there are luxurious rugs and candles kind of set around.
I think I should maybe try to scout this, so I'm going to try to sneak along.
You get about there. You hear kind of a rustling, flapping sound as the rug at the center of the room is crawling along the ground to you. Roll initiative.
What?
Top of the order is Falbin. This rug is just slippity sliding across the ground over to you. Its tassels kind of pulling it along the ground. What do you do?
I don't like this. I just dealt with this. I don't want to deal with it again. So I'm going to use my cunning action, disengage, and run back. And then I'm going to give him a rebound dagger, my trusted rebound.
That's a nat 1.
Oh no.
Your dagger goes clean over it. We're over to Rue now.
Rue can cut a fine rug, so gonna do it.
I'm suing you. 18 to hit. That hits for 4 piercing damage. Shade, you're up next.
No wasting around figuring this out. Let's just glaive it.
That hits. You cut a few tassels off.
I'm gonna firebolt it.
You guys are rolling so well. Yeah, that hits. Doing 5 fire damage. It's the rug's turn. Shade, it is going to move up to you and attempt to smother you. Come on. That's a nat 1. I cannot harm you guys.
Sad little rug.
Falvin, you ran away bravely. What would you like to do?
Gonna go back to my tried and true, the rebound dagger.
That hits for a super solid 9 damage with sneak attack.
Yep.
13. This thing is getting pretty shredded.
Rue is gonna scream at it.
Do you have any flavor about like what it sounds like?
It sounds like this high-pitched mechanical screeching.
Okay, so it fails its save, but you don't notice any effect.
Rugs don't have ears, huh?
Actually, no, it is deafened. You guys keep deafening like inanimate objects, but it does not take the psychic damage. All right, Shade.
Well, that seems pretty threadbare and ragged.
And how do you defeat this rug of smothering?
I like stab it straight through the middle where it's kind of like reared up, and then cut it out to one side and it just unravels.
Oh, its tassels hold what would be its innards if it was a person in front of it, and it reels left and right dramatically and then falls into the river and will end that really ridiculous combat. It did not get a single hit on you.
Yay, no damage.
Our fights are just getting better and better.
Well, now that Theo fired his rifle, I think stealth is kind of out of the question.
And as you say that, you hear a piercing scream of a woman. At the entrance to this chamber, a gorgeous woman in golden raiment is held captive by tendrils of animated water. In front of her, a hideous blue-skinned woman cackles as she plunges a knife into a terrified acolyte. Stand aside or die, meddlers. Time to take the rebellious bitch back home to daddy. Everybody roll initiative.
Oh, I am having none of this.
Hell no.
Magus is angry.
Falbin, you're up first. What do you do?
Okay. There I am. And there it is. My snake hair is going to be going in again.
You hit. You do 7 piercing.
She needs to roll Constitution save.
She rolled an 8. She's poisoned.
Yes.
And I'm going to disengage.
So, Shade, over the shoulder of the hag, you see like a tentacle of water lash out at you. It's a nat 1. So, yeah.
I like this.
It splashes against the wall, but then it, like a tape measure, recoiling back. Theo.
I'm gonna do my old 1-2, aiming at Versi.
Versus the Oracle.
Die, Oracle. Okay, Magus.
The acolyte who was just stabbed, is she dying where?
She is on the ground at your feet.
I am going to pray. Valus, patron of wisdom, aid us now in the name of wisdom and peace. And should I fall, I offer as tribute the knowledge that the reflection of a Medusa in silver carries no threat. In the meantime, I'm going to prepare my action, which is to cast Burning Hands.
You see the gold reflecting candlelight is suddenly intensified by a small beam of light that seems to go straight through the stone, and you are granted a favor that will allow you to impose disadvantage on an enemy save against one of your spells or abilities.
Okay, the hag already has disadvantage from poison, so I'm going to impose disadvantage on the water weird.
Because of the disadvantage, the water weird does fail, and they're taking how much?
15 points of damage.
Okay. Shade.
Which one?
The hag first.
Got it. And with that, I'm going to lead off with Daunting Roar.
Okay, so they make wisdom saves. They both fail.
And then I glaive the hag.
Yeah, they're both frightened. The hag. Can everybody please roll a wisdom saving throw?
Oh no.
A crit for Falbin. Okay, Theo, Shade, and Rue, you are all frightened of the horrific appearance of this hag. The rest of you pass and are now immune to the effect. Oh my god. Okay. Shade, you see her just give you this death glare. If I could get a wisdom saving throw from you.
Absolutely not. I have disadvantage on that, which is hilarious because I'm frightened of her and she is frightened of me.
Everybody's scared.
It's a scary situation. Oh, you still passed. Okay. It's bad if you fail. I'm gonna tell you it's bad if you fail.
I believe it.
Okay, Rue.
Rue's gonna move up and do the opinion storm against the hag.
That's a hit for 5 piercing damage. Falbin.
I'm going to go ahead and give her the dagger from this.
That'll hit. 12 damage. Very nice. Yeah, your dagger screams through the narrow corridor, slices her. The water weird is going to lash out at Magus. Ooh, that's 22 to hit. You take 15 bludgeoning damage.
Ooh.
As this leash of water wraps around your waist and squeezes tight, and you are grappled.
Fun times.
Theo.
I'm gonna shoot this hag.
That just barely hits. How do you kill the hag?
I overcome my fear for just a moment as I sight down the scope and aim squarely between the eyes. Exhale and squeeze the trigger, and I just know that this shot is perfect. And it just goes straight through the forehead and out the other side with an explosive effect, skull fragments going everywhere, covering this water weir behind it, and now it's stained with the brains of the hag.
Magus, you can feel the constriction around your waist start to loosen. The water weird starts to lose its coherence, and as the hag falls to the ground, so does the water weird.
I think there's still time. I administer my healing potion to the acolyte on the ground.
I'm gonna have her roll 2 death saves. First one's a 17, another 17. You carefully pour the healing potion into her mouth. She clutches her chest where the blade went in. I'm alive. Thank you.
On your feet. Your service is not done.
Oh, I thought I could have maybe the day off.
Well, I'm trying. Whatever. Yes. I'm trying to be poetic here.
Can I go home? No,
I've been turned into a cow. Can I go home now?
So I didn't personally. Daniel did not pick up on what you meant by that. I thought you were meaning like she had to help with some ritual or something.
Oh no.
You have to clean the altar now.
And then I just kind of slump up against the wall. It's like, ow. Hey Theo, you got any of that healing?
Yeah, I got the magic in me.
Just leave it there.
I
mean, if you're offering, Magus is down.
Silly things. Yeah, I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds.
On top of that, I also get my hedonism feature. When you regain hit points from a spell or ability, you may choose to add twice your wizard level to the number of hit points restored.
Amazing.
Whoa.
So that's 4 extra hit points for you? That's great.
So I'm back up to full. I'm assuming that was the witch the soldiers were talking about?
Jade at least wouldn't answer, but he would look at Versi and say, "Are you in fact the Oracle?"
Oh, Shade. We have so much to catch up on. The hag, she had a small pouch on her. There is a single pearl. She also has a note. It reads, "Helica, I bid you now make good upon the oath of service that once you swore me. You know the secret ways through the forgotten sea to the cave where my daughter dwells. Find her and bring her to Praxis unharmed, and I will release you from your oath. Zidon, Lord of all."
As I'm holding it, I just kind of like press the note between my fingers over the word all and burn it out of the paper.
Oh, I love that. That's some good flavor. Versi has kind of picked herself up and she looks at all of you. "My thanks to you, heroes. My name is Versi. Most call me the Oracle. Centuries ago, I foresaw the coming of great warriors who would bring about the salvation of Thelia." She waves a hand and suddenly incense lights all around the room. Her eyes close and the candles dim. "You warriors who stand here gathered will be tested. The fates have revealed 3 great tasks that must be accomplished before you are ready to sail into the 3 seas and face the Titans. You must shape the silver fires of the Lost Forge in order to craft the tools that you will need. You must claim the mighty weapons wielded against the Titans by the first Dragonlords. And you must drink deep from the bottomless dragon horn, for it will reveal a vision that I cannot see. But woe unto thee, for I have seen the end of all things. Your quest may yet fail, and if it should, the sky will rain black fire, and the doom of Thelia will come."
Jade looks around to the rest of the party. "Do any of you know what those things are?"
I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure I could find out.
As you look to Kyra, she kind of points straight up and goes, "You think Proteus would know?
I think he would.
Let's ask him when we leave."
At that, Falbin would ask whether or not Bracca and his men should be killed.
"My love of the mortals of Thelia does not fall only on the ones that serve the 5. I bear no ill will towards the mortals that choose to follow Sidon Many fly his flag because they fear the cataclysm he may bring. I am deeply pained by the deaths that have occurred here, but the hag, Helica, it was her doing that claimed their lives. The decision is yours, but if you wish for an endorsement, I cannot give it.
Rest assured, his name is in my memory.
Please, stay. Take a moment. I'm sure you have many questions, and I have many things to share with you.
Falvin would kind of look to the group and say, well, that seems like a good idea.
Yeah, we've had a harrowing experience getting down here. We should probably take stock and take a minute to reflect on all the people that we've killed.
When she says that she's sure we have many questions for her, I'm going to say, yeah, I do. First, may I say that the stories that I have heard of you told your beauty as indescribable, and they sold you short. However, my feelings toward you are conflicted. You said you have the gift of foresight. How long did you know that the boar would come? How long did you wait to call us? After how many homesteads were razed and other heroes died, why did you wait?
This is not a new question for her. She folds her hands and looks at you. My gift of foresight is not without challenges. Many see me as omniscient, but it is not so. I saw a dark beast as a shadow in a fog bank, and I saw the shapes, shadowy shapes of many heroes bravely come to challenge it, until at last one group stood victorious. I sent my acolytes out unto the whole of the land in search for these heroes, whose faces I could not clearly see. Eventually, you were found, but unlike those I saw go before, you prevailed. And I saw that some evil would come to this sanctuary, and that my rescue would be assured. But alas, I did not see that it would take so much time, and that so many of my dear acolytes would be tormented before my eyes. Does this help?
So you did not know that it would be us who would survive against the boar and be victorious.
She shakes her head no.
I just shake my head. Sounds like Herodotus is right. Fate is not something to be trusted.
Sometimes a broken tool is better than no tool at all.
So once there's been a pause, Falbin would approach Versi and say, as you know, I was born under an ill star, and something has been following me since. I know you know something of this.
You can't see it, but her face has this deep compassion. Your story brings her extreme grief. She takes your hands, and you can smell that incense, and the candles dim again. You, whose birth was cursed, whose joyous day of coming to the world was spoiled. I can see the torment that has been laid at your feet. But, alas, my sight is obscured from perceiving the perpetrator of your misfortunes. Speak with my sister, Demetria, where she weeps and rages in the old wood. She has a connection to that which is fated to be your ultimate doom.
Even though this hasn't answered this question that Falbin has struggled with for over 100 years, there's a sense of almost calmness, knowing that there's a step to take.
She turns her gaze to Magus and Theo, and she grabs one of each of your hands. I am honored to have ones with such lofty destinies come before me. You are meant for greater things yet, to ride at the forefront of a flight of reborn dragons. But have you ever wondered the source of your great gifts? Pondered whence they came? I shall reveal it to you. You see, you and I are kin. My father, Zidon, once loved a mortal sorceress. She was your grandmother. However, my father's sister wife, Lutheria, convinced him to murder his mortal lover. You must avenge her, and in doing so, her spirit shall guide you to your great destiny. Now, allow me to gift you something of hers that I know she would wish for you to have far more than I. She opens her hands, and in your palms, you each have a piece of jewelry. Magus, you have a necklace of Mitrosian design with a bronze pendant in the shape of a winged staff. And Theo, you hold a pinky ring in the Amazonian fashion with 2 green jade snakes twisted together.
Wait, is this the same woman for both of us? What? Both of my grandmothers are still alive! What?
I always wondered. I'm going to cast Identify on this.
You don't want to just grab the door and open?
Yeah, you just don't want to grab sticky doorknobs. It's probably a mimic ring. Eat my finger off.
It's like this spell almost doesn't work. It barely works. You can't tell if there's any attunement, if there's any charges, if there's any spells. Most likely there isn't. But there's just the tiniest bit of magic in it.
I will put it on after finding out that there isn't something enough to kill me.
Okay, 2 more questions. 1, was this the same sorceress? So, like, do we share a grandmother?
She nods.
Okay. 2nd, the pools out by the main entrance, are they relatively safe? Because I need to go swim laps. Magus is having a time.
Theo will kind of go in the corner and he'll pull out his thinking lute and start playing a song.
Last but not least, Versi approaches Shade.
Shade this whole time has been just kind of like leaning against the wall, eyes almost suspiciously narrowed, just watching what's been happening so far. As kind of like he's almost taking this stance of, I think you're a charlatan, and I'm just waiting to see when you slip up.
She kind of meanders over to you, her hands kind of behind her back. I was hoping you'd remember more by now.
Seem to indicate that that you know me.
My dear Shade, do you remember the dream you had?
He just kind of like cocks his head. Dream?
In your dream, you heard me call you by the name Lucos.
I don't know about a dream, but I remember dying. Somebody called me something that I didn't recognize. Was that in fact you?
She nods. You see, you were once one of the ancient order of Dragonlords that defended Thelia against the Titans.
Shade's eyes narrow and he just kind of stares intently at her. Would I be able to roll like an insight check or something? Because Shade is not buying this entirely.
Yeah, you're trained in insight, so go ahead and roll insight. That's a nat 20.
Oh.
Okay, you see somebody who knows you intimately. You see somebody who they anticipate your mood. They've even lit incense that pleases your palate. This is somebody who deeply cares about you and who would never lie to you.
Shade is actually pretty taken aback by this. How? That was, 500 years ago?
You were lost, nearly consumed by battle. The war, it took its toll on you, and it nearly took you with it. I found you, alone, without your oath-sworn dragon, and I took you in, sheltered from the wrath of my father, for I knew that far, far ahead in time, you had a vital purpose. And so, you remained here, with me, in an enchanted sleep, while your body and your mind slowly healed. It took much time. The man I referred to as Lucos still lives within you, but you have long since parted from him. He exists now as but an echo of yourself, and you as a new and different shade of him. You will never return to the man you used to be, but if you follow the path, you can learn from him, and together reach new heights of strength.
Shade still not wanting to believe it. He realizes at his core that this is the truth. assuming this is true, then what I need to do?
She sees your look of hesitance turn to more of a look of determination. She takes your hands. My heart, the fates are cruel indeed to rip us apart so quickly after you've come to my rescue. Before I speak to you of your great destiny, I always had a soft spot for mortals, but I had no idea what it meant to, well, Shade. I shall speak now of your fate. You are destined to see your order rise again. I see you once more, wearing your famed armor and crown. Seek them out in the necropolis at Telemark. Old friends wait for you there.
He just kind of stands there, really confused and conflicted.
Kyra kind of leans in the tunnel and says, should we maybe give her a minute? I think she's done a lot of prophesying for one day.
Yes.
Theo will get up from the corner and put away his loot and walk out.
She gives you a little golf clap as you leave.
There's this scene of like these prophecies, with, like lute playing and dead hag in the corner.
Oh, great! I'm swimming in Hag River.
Should have asked.
Uh-oh.
As Shade leaves, he'd hesitate to be the last one, and just kind of right before he leaves, he'd just kind of turn back, looking at her, and do kind of just a slight bow.
She places her hands over her heart and smiles as you leave. All right, lore dump over, huh? All right. So I'm just going to bring you guys back up to the temple. As you enter the upper level of the temple again, you find that all the soldiers are gone.
Oh, good, because
Yeah, that was about to be problematic.
What kind of fool?
Magus was totally prepared to like mage armor and then sword duel break out.
Proteus hears you coming, hears the lute playing, and he says, Oh, praise to the five, you've made it. And Versi, she's all right.
Versi is fine.
Good. You got the potions.
Yes, they helped save the life of another of your temple associates.
He is like openly weeping now. Knowing that you've saved Versi and one of his acolytes. Name it. What can a humble priest of Versi do for the champions of the Oracle?
I think you may be able to help us gain some more insight in the prophecy of what we're supposed to be doing. She told us to shape the silver fires of the Lost Forge.
The Lost Forge. She must have referred to the Mithril Forge.
Oh, okay, yes, all right. That was a dwarven forge. It made the first weapons for the gods. Well, I guess the question is, like, we could use it to build new magical items or repaired old ones.
It's close to Astoria. If we travel there, I know of a clan of dwarves that work the local copper mines, and they're likely to know where exactly to find it.
That's good. Although, while we're here, that sounds like a great first step. But yeah, if we're at the Mithril Forge, the second thing she said was to claim the weapons of the first Dragonlords. Would that be at the Forge? Should we get them first before we head to the Forge?
Well, Versi did say that there was things that I at least would need in the necropolis.
Yes. It's in the Mithril Mountains. The tombs there were built to house the remains of the Dragonlords. No one ever goes there. It's guarded by an undead gatekeeper known as Daemon. You know, it's told that he must be paid with a special kind of coin to allow anyone entrance. I happen to have maybe exactly what you need. He takes out a burnished Dragonlord coin. Take this, keep it safe, no spending on frivolities.
Shade would actually reach for that and take it.
Like, half a second before Magus.
Shade, you take this coin and this feels good. This feels like natural.
It just resounds with him. Yes, I will keep this close.
Go there, give the gatekeeper Daemon the coin, and perhaps he will spare you a gruesome and terrible death. Inside, you may find weapons of the first Dragonlords, which were forged by the god Vulcan himself.
But the third item, she said to drink of the dragon horn.
The Horn of Balmetria. It's an actual dragon horn at the famed silver dragon Balmetria, lost in battle against the Gigans. It reputedly has many magical powers, including the ability to grant visions to those who drink from it. The horn is stowed in a reliquary in the city of Astoria. those of you proficient with history, if you know any dragon name, you would know the name Balmitria. Balmitria was the chief of dragons. Noblest, bravest.
And also, at the mention of a silver dragon, Jade kind of flinched slightly. Proteus, do you have a map? It might be best to plot these out in a manner that we can approach them as efficiently as possible.
It seemed to me like they were all around Astoria.
Yeah, I mean, concerning Old Woods, it's probably better off that we go to do one of the other things and learn more about Demetria.
Especially if the dragon horn will give us vision. It's supposed to give us visions of what we're supposed to do next.
So it seems that Astoria is the first stop.
Only one way to find out. To Astoria?
To Historia!
Would it be
That'll be
possible to maybe
Next destination.
rest a bit before we start traveling?
Yeah, of course. And actually,
Yes.
I've had a day.
you all have had a day. Aw, you guys. Before you leave, Proteus comes and intercepts you again. I must admit, I'm skeptical that any of these great labors, as they're called, may be accomplished by mortals. But you've done great work here today, and Thelia desperately needs heroes who are just willing to try. He gives you each one more potion of healing.
Yay!
The future of Thelia may be bleak, but there is always hope. The people of this land will look to your actions as a sign of things to come. Seek not fame nor fortune, but show them the true meaning of heroism. Make yourselves a beacon of light as we enter this time of darkness, and go with the blessing of this temple.
I'll do a small bow in return.
After he leaves, Kyra just jumps in front and says, "No, hey, wait, listen to me. Proteus is right about being a beacon of hope, but this is also your chance to win fame beyond your wildest dreams. Great heroes and great fame go hand in hand. One might say fame is the path to immortality. Now, these great labors are just the beginning. The path ahead of you will be filled with opportunities to grow your legend. If you truly manage to rise to your fate and confront the Titans, then poets, like me, will sing of your deeds for ages to come. So, I encourage you to swear to each other an oath of fellowship in the spirit of solidarity. And when one of you wins fame, all of you will share in it. And who knows, perhaps the magic of the oath will even protect you against some of the dangers that lie ahead. So what do you say?"
As she finishes this, Shade just kind of looks around real quick and says, "But we already know in myth it's going to go down as Lord Theo and his flock of bird killers."
That wouldn't be half bad.
Band name called it.
Theo would be prepared, yes, after thinking about all of the trials that the group has gone through together.
Okay, so she takes out small wooden cups and passes them around.
Falbin would probably take initiative on this because there's something about this that he hasn't had before, and it's not desperation so much as the desire to have a brotherhood. So he would start out and say, "I am Falbin, and I swear upon my life and my honor that I will uphold the oath of fellowship with the warriors who stand by my side."
Jade would chime in next, as he is already innately aware of the value of fellowship and brotherhood. "I am Shade, and I swear upon my life and my honor that I will uphold the oath of fellowship with the warriors who stand at my side."
I am Theo, and I swear upon my life and my honor that I will uphold the oath of fellowship with the warriors who stand at my side.
I'm just really quickly looking up oaths and what the details of this are. I'm reading the
In
fine
fact,
print.
If you break this oath, you will die.
The rest of the party is staring expectantly at me.
I assume that I have thought about this during the night. I am Megas Lampros Bromius, and I swear upon my life and honor that I will uphold the oath of fellowship with the warriors who stand at my side.
With that, Kyra raises her glass to you.
Theo
Bringing
and
the
bird
birds
killers.
back.
Is that our catchphrase? Bring the birds back.
Bring the birds will be brought back.
The birds will be brought back. And with that, that's all we have for today. Thank you for joining us. Tune in next week for more of this weird stuff.